Hello and welcome to Fairway Media's coverage of Ravens Run at Lucky Mud Disc Golf Course in Skamokawa, Washington. This tournament was held in August of 2022. This is round 2, part 2. I'm Max Spears, and joined with me here is
Christian Wolff. I'd like to give a shout out to our tournament directors, Adam and Sara Fletcher, as well as our sponsors, Dynamic Discs and Fort George Brewery in Astoria, Oregon. Here we have our lead card, Zack Baskett, Brandon McNew, Josiah Nelson, and Aaron Hursey.
Here we see Zack in the lead with a 12 down. Josiah trails him at 10 under. Aaron's right on his heels at 9 under. Brandon fell back a little bit with the quad bogey on part 1. He is down at 5 under. They're going to all be looking to score here on hole 11, par 3, 246 feet. This hole is averaging 0.14 strokes under par. Not a ton of birdies, but you know our lead card is going to be looking to score here.
Yeah, this one is gettable, but requires a pretty specific shot and probably some good ground play. You can see Aaron's shot getting caught up by those ferns. That's a likely result on this hole.
Yeah, he almost had it. Not quite inside enough.
Yep, there we see Zack make the correction. He gets a nice ground play. He's going to have a circle 1 putt.
I like this. A little forehand roller action from Josiah. That tree is not going to help it turn, though. He's going to end up well out of position, possibly in the OB Creek there.
Yeah, those leaves just took it all off. Here's Brandon with a nice hyzer. Finds himself just long a pin high.
Yeah, he goes the outside hyzer there. Does a pretty nice job. Here we see Josiah chipping up. Well done. He should be able to tap that in.
Here's Brandon staring down a downhill putt. He committed to it, but caught that cage and rolls away probably 30 feet.
Yeah, that was close, but it's hard when you catch a nub and roll away like that. A little sharp on the angle from Aaron. Brandon's going to have to contend with these ferns.
Yeah, he had some meat left on the bone and not the easiest stance.
No, you can see he wasn't able to reach the whole way through his normal release there. A lot of stuff on his right side. Gonna have to settle for bogey. And our leader gets another one on the card here.
Josiah looking to clean up his par. Does well.
Yeah, did not find any out of bounds on that hole. Able to chip up for par. Aaron a bit disappointed, but settles for an easy par at least.
Here's hole 12. It's a shorty, but it's tough. You can see this narrow corridor you have to navigate the first 150 feet. Once you get out of there, it's open, but it's a little bit uphill, sloping left to right. Just getting out of that gap is the main concern.
Yeah, tricky hole, averaging right around par, 2.93 scoring average. Only 3 birdies on the day, only a couple of bogeys, but a lot of pars, keeping that scoring average close to 3. I believe this is that Cobra.
I'm not exactly sure, but he does well to get that moving left to right.
Yeah, whatever it is, a disc he's comfortable with. Looked like a nice shot out of Zack.
Aaron does well. Not exactly sure where that landed, but
yeah, we'll see on the ground play on that. What do you like here, Christian? Do you like forehand or backhand?
I like Zack's play. Taking something neutral, kind of forcing it over, slide it up there.
Feels like that shot makes the gap the biggest that it can possibly be, and it's got the most potential. So you kind of get a high floor and a high ceiling with that shot, I would think.
Brandon just off the band for his birdie putt. Aaron strong side chain out there. That caught a lot of chains.
Yeah, possibly a little bit too much grip there on the putt. That looked a little quick from Josiah. Didn't look like his normal putting routine. Hits off the top of the basket. Here we have another chance for a stroke on the card. Uncharacteristic from our leader.
Yeah, he just held on to it. But makes good on the par.
Yeah, gets it in there. This is a former state champ, Washington state champion. He knows how to make a comeback putt. Everybody else taps in for par. Not a lot of drama. And you can see why that hole scores the way it does. Shout out to our 3 birdies from the day, Bo Midland, Dustin Hummel, and Kenny Clark. And we move on to hole 13. Par 3, 251 feet. This is a tricky hole. There's a lot of trees to miss. This is one where you can get caught not picking a specific gap and just kind of hoping that your shot finds its way. You really need to commit to whatever gap you're throwing for. Throw it with good spin rate, good control, and try to find your way to a birdie. This hole was offering up a few more birdies than the last, as we see a nice shot there from Zack.
Yeah, a couple sidearm chips down the left side. Those work out nicely.
Yeah, I believe that was Aaron. Here is Josiah. And that's Brandon with a forehand there. Everybody down towards the green. Brandon's looking in circle 2, but this is definitely a putt that he can make.
And he does.
Good putt, bro.
Yeah, really nicely done by him. Nice way to kind of get the juices flowing here in the second part of this round. See if he can climb his way back into a nice position as he's falling off the pace.
Josiah gets the aim right, but the height was lacking.
Good putt.
Aaron with a really nice birdie putt.
Yeah, nice delivery there. Good correction off the last couple of misses. Puts that one high in the chains and lets it drop in. There's another birdie for our leader. Nice way to come back off the missed putt on the last hole and park this one. Really well done by him.
We have hole 14, par 3, 266. Slightly uphill, and there's really a left gap and a right gap. I think the right gap's a little bit easier, especially for backhand player. Basically stand something up, go straight. Looks like that's what Zach's about to do.
A little bit outside from our leader there. We'll see where he ended up.
Aaron's taking that left side gap that I was talking about. That's probably where most sidearm players are going to go. Comes up a little short. Brandon burns his a little too far over. He's going to be pin high, but not sure if he's going to have a putt.
Ooh, ace run there from Josiah. Really nice shot. He'll be rewarded with the best result. Here we see Zack does have a line. Very technical, though. Wow.
Flexes it right up there and gets it close.
Yeah, beautiful angle on that shot to be able to see just how it navigated its way up there to the green. Tough lie for Brandon. He'll settle for par. Same for Aaron.
Yeah, not enough ante on the hand.
Josiah looking straight downhill after the nice drive. Converts a good putt.
Yeah, that's a 2-for-1. You get to run it and birdie. That's great.
Everybody else will be looking to clean up their par here. Always a little tricky on an elevated basket. Can't put it too high in the chains and let it push out.
Yeah, baskets really aren't designed to catch from that angle, so you gotta remain calm and make sure it stays.
All right, we move on to hole 15, par 3, 303 feet. Our players are going to be looking to make this initial gap, and then as you can see, they have a few more gaps they have to navigate as they find their way down through the trees, over slightly to the left there, opting for something that goes straight with just a touch of fade at the end of the flight.
Yeah, because of the uphill nature, this play is probably more like 350, maybe 340. So you see a lot of people throwing, 6 or 7 speed discs, even though they might be able to get there with a mid-range.
Yeah, Zach a little early out of the hand. Josiah was a little late. Aaron puts a nice line on that, but can't quite beat that same tree that Zach found. Yeah, Brandon a little bit late as well. None of our players making it very far down the fairway, but there's lots of scramble opportunities on this hole.
Yeah, coming down short on this hole is not ideal. There's a lot of trees to contend with, and once you're off of that main fairway angle, there's skinny lines out there. There's a lot of skinny lines. Here's Zach with a tricky approach. Not quite able to get clean.
Aaron with a nice little layup. Josiah's going to have to settle for bogey there. He threw a nice second shot, but caught that branch. Couldn't quite power through. Zach with a very nice par.
Yeah, that's a really good cleanup from where he was.
Nice par from Brandon. Aaron should have something similar, as will Josiah, but he will be taking the bogey.
Here we have hole 16, par 3. This is usually plays up here to the right, but for this round we're going to have an extended hole. It's back another probably 50 feet and to the left towards where the camera's panning here. It's basically one option. You got a straight shot down the left side, and it is not a very friendly gap.
You know, this does look like a king cobra here from Zach.
Yeah, he skirts that last tree. Just makes it inside. That's a pretty good shot.
Pretty sneaky there from him. Well done.
Aaron standing up, a little high. Was probably pin high and left. Brandon lets it rip. That's heading straight for the pole and just gets snagged by something late.
Josiah following more of Aaron's line. Doesn't quite get it flat out of the hand, but he might have something from down there.
Yeah, Brandon must have hit a little shorter than I thought. Comes up shorter than his putt.
There you go.
Nice birdie there from Aaron. Not a clean line. Looking at probably 26, 27 feet.
Nice.
Here we got Josiah with a birdie. This hole was recently aced. You can see it on social media. If it was you, shout it out in the comments.
Yeah, but
Zach with a little
pretty Zach.
floaty, spinny putt there from the straddle. Gets it in. Climbs to 15 down as Brandon settles for a par. All right, on to hole 17, par 3, 280 feet. Here we see some more skinny gaps that our players are going to need to navigate off of the tee. There's less room on the left side, a little bit more room on the right side as we climb slightly up this hill. Here we have a little deer friend. Hopefully not on the course during the round, as that would be quite a difficult obstacle for our players.
Yeah, they're out there. They're also very friendly. They don't really care if you're out there either. So we had to send a few people out to shoo them away.
You need to carry some salt licks or some apples or something to distract them. But yeah, we'll see if our players can climb this hill, throw a straight shot, a little bit of fade, a little bit of scoot up the hill.
Yeah, it plays a little bit uphill at the first probably 3/4 and then slopes down after the basket, as you can see.
Yeah, 50% of our players did get a birdie on this hole, but there was also a good number of bogeys, 21%, which kept the scoring down at only 2.71 on the scoring average. Interesting for a hole that 50% of the field birdie.
Yeah, I mean, the shot is very specific. You have to get something going straight and just hyzering gently down this right side fairway. And it slopes away after the pin. So you got to time that fade really nicely. As you can see, Brandon goes long. That'll pick up and roll sometimes, and you'll have an unmakeable 60-footer.
Yeah, looks like he doesn't do too bad. Gets a nice putt there. As I look at the list, it looks like you got a birdie on this hole, part of that 50% of the field.
Yep,
What-
I think I got it both rounds. This one feels good. It's a, just gentle golf shot down the right side. Time that fade out nicely.
Now here we have Brandon coming back. Looks to be circle's edge or just outside.
Let's go.
Great delivery by him. Right in the heart.
Yeah,
Way to get into that 50% of players.
Yeah, nice drives, followed by nice putts.
Yep, Aaron with another. One of the 7 birdies. Here we see a par from our leader. He did not get into that group of 7 players with birdies on this hole. And neither will Josiah, who settles for a par. And our players will look to move on to hole 18.
So here's hole A. I believe for round 2 we played this as a combination. So this is playing as a par 4. So if this is the normal hole A pin, we're actually going to be going a little bit further and uphill on that second shot. Really tough par 4. You got to get through this demanding gap on the left or right here. Set yourself up for an uphill, almost 90-degree turn.
Yeah, that looks great.
Brandon puts it in a really nice spot. Just hits one of those late trees.
Yeah, nice flat delivery there for him. A little unfortunate on the tree hit.
Zach corrects just enough to get around that tree. Might give himself a straight shot to the pin.
Oh yeah, just nice.
Josiah feeling a little frustrated, late on the release there. We'll see if he can make a correction.
Yeah, at this point you're thinking, how am I going to get par? This shot's really pivotal to get yourself in a good spot to do so.
Get out, man.
So I take it back, we actually are playing normal hole 17A. So this is a par 3. Everybody's approaching on their second shots here.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Brandon with a really nice run. Just skims it right over the top.
God,
Aaron with a good effort, a little bit too high. Josiah left side miss. Brandon with the tap in. That's going to hurt for Josiah. Being only a few strokes off the lead.
Bird, right?
Taking a bogey here is going to be tough.
Yeah, man.
Yep, and our leader here taking a stroke on the card and then some.
Yeah, 2 strokes on Aaron, 2 strokes on Josiah. Brandon falling off the pace. If Zach's going to be feeling pressure, these players are going to have to start getting some birdies.
Indeed, here we have hole B. This is uphill 230, playing more like 320, if I'm honest. It takes a pump to get up there, and you really have to time that fade around that tree.
Yeah, here we see Zach going hyzer. Finds his way to the left side of the green. Pretty nicely done by him.
Yeah, I like that play rather than trying to push long of that tree. Hyzer something into that hill short of that tree, and you should have a putt.
Yeah, Brandon looks for the same line but doesn't quite get clean. Same thing for Aaron. Trying the inside hyzer, finds a branch.
Yeah, Josiah gets it stood up, but I think not quite soon enough. Really see the uphill nature of this hole from this angle.
Pretty good bid there by Josiah. A lot of power to get it up the hill, but
Yep.
a little too far right. Layup from Aaron. Good bid from Brandon. Good enough to fall, but just a touch too high.
Bird.
Nice hit from Zach.
Yeah, very nicely done by him. Really pulling away from this card. Chase card not making enough noise to make him feel too worried with just a couple of holes left. You never know what can happen, but he's sitting pretty nice. Brandon frustrated with the miss. I'm sure this isn't how he wanted his second round to go, but he's still throwing some good shots on this property. I'm sure he's having fun playing golf. Josiah and Aaron hanging in there as we move on to 17C, which will be our 20th hole.
Indeed. This is just a straight putter shot downhill. It's 274, probably playing 220 with how downhill it is. Give it an ace run. Hope you stay close.
I'm guessing putter from Zach here. Little left side, but
Be all right.
he's down there. As he said, and that'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon also looks to be going putter.
Yeah, doesn't quite get it to flip early enough. Hits one of the tall branches.
We got our first forehand from Aaron. Look to make its way down there. Yep, Josiah called it. Little too much hyzer out of the hand there.
Brandon's here on the short left.
Gonna put a nice bid on this. Yeah, cash from distance for Brandon.
Brandon McNew.
He's cool and collected, but you know he's excited about that one.
Yeah, you know it's a good shot when even Justin gets in on shouting him out. Josiah wants a little piece of that action. Close. Very good bid.
Yeah, just barely wide. Aaron with a nice hyzer bid. Puts it just long.
Here we have Zach. Leaves it too far right. He doesn't like it, but that's easy par cleanup for him. Josiah off the top. That's going to be a bogey for him. Unfortunate. Aaron with a tap-in par. Zach will look to do the same.
Yeah, this is one you want to get, especially down the winning stretch here.
Yeah, we move on to course hole 18. This will be our 21st hole. Here we've got a par 3, 345 feet. Our players need to navigate their way out of this grouping of trees, out towards the fence that you see out there guarding the little garden. Our players need to find their way onto this green and not push too deep as there is OB. Brandon's up first after the very nice long make.
Yeah, he's probably throwing one of his Yeti ADRs there. A putter will get there. It is severely downhill.
Yeah, I think a lot of our players are throwing something similar to what they threw on the last hole, even with the change in distance. Very downhill, and you don't want to go too far.
Zach gets a nice move on that. Maybe a little bit nose up, but a good shot.
Yeah, that should work for him. Easy par at worst. Now this hole did average under par at 2.86 scoring average. 28% of our field birdied it, but there were 7 bogeys on this hole. As you can see, it's a lot of gaps that you have to hit to make your way out, and then with that OB long, it can create some problems for players.
Fuck yeah, dude. Nice shot.
Yeah, Zach loves it. We love it. That's a great shot from Brandon. Aaron
man.
skipping
Good job.
hyzer gets that to about 16 feet. Should be easy work for him.
I believe this is Josiah coming in for par. And just over the top.
Yeah, good commitment. Can't quite find the pole. A near miss from our leader there. Well done by Aaron. Finds that in. That looks to be about 7 paces or so, maybe just outside of 20 feet. Zack with a par. And Brandon also taps in for par as our players move on to course hole 1 and our last hole of the day.
Yeah, I'm sure Zack is feeling pretty comfortable with that lead at this point. We're back to the group next to the inn and on our last hole. Tournament's rounding down. Got a few shots left.
Yeah, at this point, Zack knows what everyone else has played. Everyone else is into the clubhouse. He can feel confident here. Throw a nice shot. Make his way out there. Give some love to the homies and the friends on the card here. Should have a nice audience for the last hole before we find out who our champion is. Brandon's still going first after the nice birdie 2 holes ago. He's going to look to finish strong.
He's probably ripping a rock out there and pulls it a little wide. It gets really windy on this hole too. It's short, but can mess you up.
And there we see some Seattle area friends in the background, Ken Clark and our very own Christian Wolff.
Yeah, it's always good times out here. If you ever get a chance, check out Lucky Mud in Skamokawa, Washington. It is a gem of a course.
Yeah, Zack a little bit high. Josiah looking to pick up a birdie here. He's had a tough stretch on these last few holes. I'm sure he wants to finish strong.
Pop. Damn, same thing.
Yep, scooting down there.
Yeah, best line of the bunch, but maybe a little bit too low.
Yeah, I think the bump and run is kind of the play. It slopes off really nicely behind the green, and discs can get away from you.
Brandon comes up a little short. Here we have Zack. I'm sure just looking for an easy par, the easiest par he can collect, and that appears to be what he's done.
Absolutely.
Brandon without a real good look for par from in that bush. He'll have to settle for bogey. Here's where Josiah ended up.
He gives it a nice bid.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit low. Nice to see Zack give him some love on that. That was a good bid, but couldn't quite convert. Little dust cloud off of his putt as then Aaron converts. Steadies the basket. Super nice guy. Brandon cleans up the bogey. Josiah cleans up. And here we have Zack tapping in for par to finish at 17 down, which is the winning score for Ravens Run, sponsored by Fort George Brewery and Dynamic Discs. Great round by our players today. Here we're going to see some nice highlights. Zack going wire to wire, leading the tournament after round 1, winning after round 2. Great shot there from Brandon. Probably the shot of the day from maybe 110 feet out. Another nice long distance make from him. He really battled back well after that tough hole in the front.
Yeah, he didn't have the hottest round, but he had the most highlights.
Thank you, as always, to our sponsors, Dynamic Discs and Fort George Brewery, for this tournament. Here we have our top 5. Zack Baskett's the winner. Jeremy Marsh is in second place with 13 down, followed by Ian Blake and Aaron Hursey at 12 down, and Nick Schuler at 11 down is your 5th player. And thank you to Fairway Media for providing us with this awesome coverage. Christian, it was great doing this with you and getting to watch some fun golf.
Likewise, buddy.
Hey guys, hit that subscribe button.